Hello and welcome back to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Due to a temporary lockdown on pretty much everything for the emergency situation, we're currently unable to report news from our studio. And instead, we're operating the channel remotely from home. Well, stay tuned and keep watching. Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace confronts Surgeon General. He asks, why don't we have a national stay-at-home order? Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace spoke with U.S. Surgeon General Vice Admiral Jerome Sunday morning about why there's no national stay-at-home order being issued. Calls for such an order have grown in the past week. Most states have stay-at-home orders in place, but a few have yet to implement similar orders. Wallace showed a clip of President Donald Trump saying he would leave it to the governors before asking, the coronavirus is not a state issue. It doesn't follow or respect state borders. Dr. Fauci says he believes there should be a national stay-at-home order. Is he wrong? Adams emphasized that most people across the country are following the national CDC guidelines, including in those states, before talking about how, quote, we live in a country where we have a system of federalism. He pointed to different state laws with respect to opioids and tobacco, saying more people will die even in the worst projections from cigarette smoking in this country than are going to die from coronavirus this year. Adams also said some of the states not doing shelter-in-place orders are struggling with issues concerning how they can provide for the rest of the country to be able to stay at home. What I would say to those governors is, if you can't give us a month, give us what you can. Give us a week. Give us whatever you can to stay at home during this particularly tough time, he added. Take a watch.
Started doing a much better job. California's trajectory has leveled off, and so there is hope, but we've got to all do our part.
Let's talk about mitigation, because the president's top health advisors, including you, say the most important thing we can do, all of us, is to stay at home, and yet there are still 9 states. There are still 9 states with millions of Americans that still have not issued stay-at-home orders. President Trump was asked about that this week. Here he is.
I leave it up to the governors. The governors know what they're doing. They've been doing a great job. I guess we're close to 90% anyway. And states that we're talking about are not in jeopardy. No, I would leave it to the governors.
But Dr. Adams, the coronavirus is not a state issue. It doesn't follow or respect state borders. Dr. Fauci says he believes that there should be a national stay-at-home order. Is he wrong?
Well, Chris, it's important to understand that most people across the country are doing the right thing. Over 90% of the country is staying at home, and a good proportion, more than average, are staying home even in those 9 states. But the last time you and I talked, it was about opioids. People don't know, but I've run a state Department of Health. I've been involved in health for years, and diseases don't respect state lines, but we live in a country where we have a system of federalism. And when it comes to opioids, states have different rules and regulations and laws regarding treatment, regarding syringe service programs, as you and I have talked about. I actually put out a report on tobacco cessation earlier this year, and we know that states have different laws there, and more people will die, even in the worst projections, from cigarette smoking in this country than are going to die from coronavirus this year. And so we always are struggling with trying to get information out to guide people that we know will help them be healthy with states' rights. But it's why we put out these 30 days to stop the spread guidelines. These are essentially our national stay-at-home order, and we're working with governors to figure out their needs, their desires. One more important point, the 9 states that haven't yet done shelter-in-place orders are states that actually produce a large amount of our food. So they're struggling with issues concerning how they can provide for the rest of the country to be able to stay at home. But right now, what I would say to those governors is, if you can't give us a month, give us what you can. Give us a week. Give us whatever you can to stay at home during this particularly tough time when we're going to be hitting our peak over the next 7 to 10 days. But
Dr. Adams, there's a big difference between opioids and cigarettes. which are something that people decide to use or not to use, and the coronavirus, which people catch. It's not an individual choice. And you know, when President Trump says that he's a wartime president, during World War II, FDR didn't say, well, it's up to each state to decide what to do. He mobilized the nation. Again, why not a national stay-at-home order? The coronavirus doesn't recognize states' rights. So does the federal analogy really work here?
Well, Chris, I know a week ago is forever in coronavirus time, but I would remind people that it was just a week ago when the idea of a federal quarantine for the New York City area was being floated, and Governor Cuomo said that would be like declaring war on the states. The governors are intensely protective of their right, and rightly so, to be able to decide what's best for their states, and we're going to do everything we can as scientists and as physicians, as medical professionals, to help them understand what we think the right thing is for them to do. And so I just want everyone to know that from a national perspective, the Surgeon General is saying no matter where you are, stay at home. At least give us a week or two if you can. We want you to do it for 30 days, but even in those 9 states, give us what you can so we can get this peak and start to come down on the other side.
Well, share your thoughts and responses in the comments down below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below. Share the news among friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Ravine, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe.